Cool.
Yes.
So quickly, let's do the awkward.
Yeah.
You
So
go.
we are brought to you by Precision Hydration.
Sweat experts. It's the wrong way around.
I know.
And the sports barista.
Coffee to conquer.
Boom. Right, we are very excited to be joined by Kim.
Yeah.
Now, it was quite a long day Sunday for us and you. Probably more exhausting for you being out there. But Challenge Daytona, you absolutely smashed it.
Gosh, I am feeling it now. I'm still struggling to walk with some sort of normality to my stride. Oh, ouch, it hurts. Yeah.
But it was so good.
It was, it
like
was.
we watched both races from the start.
Well, Challenge Daytona cut the broadcast at the very last second of the men's race, didn't they? But
don't open old wounds. It's fine. So talk us through Daytona.
Wow. So Daytona for all of us, like athletes, friends, family, supporters, was such a great opportunity for us all to put on a show and kind of see where everyone's at. Not only that, it was a really cool opportunity for the longer course guys to race the shorter course guys. Like Olympic champions and stuff on the start line, both female and male races, just created such an awesome dynamic. And the location where it was set, Daytona racetrack, was just something else. The bubble felt really quite magical, and I'm so proud that I was part of the event. So the event hosted athletes from the PTO top 40. The wildcards came in the form of mostly ITU athletes, and then there was also those special invites to make sure the start line was as exciting as possible. So yeah, super proud to be part of it. And the race for me, it like by no means went perfectly, but the race I executed and put together, I was super delighted with. So like came home and I was like, that was great, but how can I get quicker? Like it's just put even more fire in my belly for a great winter's training and a great focus going into perhaps an unusual 2021. I guess none of us are sure.
Definitely. Well, it looked, I don't know what it was like for you, and I know we're going to talk about the bike stuff in a bit, but it looks like you absolutely, we know you absolutely smashed the bike. So congratulations on that, first of all, because we were just like,
I think you probably like consistently held whenever they'd flash up like their top speeds, like you were always like number one is like the quickest woman. We were just like, whoa.
We're like, what? She's coming. She's moving up. She's in the top 20. Now she's top 15. Now oh my gosh, she's absolutely smashing it. But it looked to us, I don't know if it was just the camera angles, but it looked like you were suffering on the run as a result of your bike.
We had trained to run quicker than that off of that kind of bike. So yeah, I was disappointed that I didn't find more fluidity in my legs. I was probably 10-15 seconds off desired leg speed for the watts we put out on the bike. So yeah, disappointing. But what was kind of cool is, we were on the second lap there. How far was that? 9K. It was 18K in total. And I was holding second position. And I thought, didn't get overexcited, but I did think to myself, wowzers, like this is a crazy good field. I'm super proud right now. Let's just keep the head tall, let's keep the hips strong, and let's just keep tapping out a good cadence. And I gave exactly what my legs would give me. It wasn't that inspirational run pace wise, but it got me to the finish line in the top 15, which it felt very fulfilling.
Yeah, it was good. It was great to watch, actually. And we were kind of like shouting through the TV, come on, because we were watching you and Emma Pallant and Nikki. And like, it was nice to see all of you finish up in the top 20. Obviously, Emma got that the 2-minute penalty, which kind of moved her back down the things. But yeah, it was really cool. So we're making little punchy videos now.
Yeah.
So we've done the Q&A. We've asked you the weird questions. So something that was picked up during the broadcast, and obviously you're the perfect person to speak to, is about your cadence on the bike. Now, obviously, lower cadence means more power. But we just wondered what the theory was behind, you know, the sort of tactic with that.
Yeah, I ride at a cadence which feels comfortable at that moment. I've done some time trials with a cadence of 10 to 15 RPM higher than what I put out on Sunday in Daytona. It's just how the legs feel on the day. One observation I have made during this year is racing some of these great time trial girls in the UK. And I know they're not runners, but my goodness, they ride with a low cadence. Like it doesn't mean that, oh, I've decided to ride with a low cadence. It's just an observation. Like, and there is another girl on the UK time trial scene who rides with a particularly high cadence, but I'm tending to see it more looking low. But anyway, this isn't a time trial. This is a triathlon. So I guess everyone's argument is, Kim, ride with a higher cadence. Your legs will be best prepared for the run. Me riding at a higher cadence than feels comfortable on the day completely exhausts me. So it's certainly a balancing act. And what I did do in the last couple of laps is I really upped my cadence, dropped my power off, just to get a little bit more blood flowing, just to give me a little bit more movement to crack on with that run. So I was conscious of it, but I'll always ride, like I say, a cadence that feels comfortable in that moment.
And do you think that had changed because you'd done a lot of time trialing rather than triathlons through lockdown and stuff?
I've always had a pretty low cadence. We do a lot of cadence work on the bike, high and low, and at different threshold, tempo, the steady stuff. There's a big mix of cadence focus in my training. One thing I would say is there is certainly an optimal place to be riding your bike in regards to the chainring and where the chainrings are sat. I would say that my chainring wasn't sat in not the optimal position riding at that cadence. I'm on the SRAM AXS 50 tooth at the front. Last year I was on a 1x Drag to Zero bespoke 56 tooth. And I feel like we still need to get the balance right. So I have enough range for allowing a higher cadence, but also when I am grinding that gear, we are still sat efficiently in the middle of the back cassette. So there's more to cadence than just what your legs look like they're doing on the camera. It's also a lot of efficiency in regards to where you're sat gearing. So there's a lot to be learned from my cadence in Challenge Daytona for sure.
What do you think that was? Or what did you learn from it?
Getting a bigger chainring and sitting in a But then if someone said to me, Kim, that's ridiculous, your cadence looked too low, you need to ride at a quicker cadence, they'd say that was silly going for a bigger tooth. But my argument is I need to sit in a more efficient position on that chainring.
Yeah. See, the other interesting thing, I don't know if you watched much of the men's race because obviously you're recovering and probably having a sleep,
a
little lay down. But the thing with the men was the men were kind of, a lot of them were sitting in a TT position for a long time, pushing big power. And then the men, loads of them were falling away in the run, like cramping,
they were cramping,
tearing muscles, like they were really suffering. And you didn't really see it that much in the ladies' race, but yeah, it was an interesting observation. So do you think in a normal triathlon, that's the kind of style that you will take?
I think every race should be approached differently. This race, I feel there was quite a lot of vibe around, oh, this is very much a runner's race. I didn't think that at all. I thought riding 80 kilometers in the TT position at one gradient is an art in itself. Excuse me. Another thing I think is a real art is actually riding fast. The ability to ride fast, it sounds strange, but it's all about dealing with the momentum on the bike and being able to push speeds of in excess of 43, 44k an hour. I mean, to be able to do it, you need to practice it. So for this kind of race, we were very focused on the nature of that bike course and having to run off of holding that position for so long. Each race is different, so I do not know what my next race will be as yet, but whatever it is, the focus will be firmly on what that course looks like in regards to the swim, bike and the run.
Yeah. And so I know there was, I can't remember who it was coming off the bike, because I know you've said about you try to increase your cadence towards the end of the bike just to kind of increase blood flow. Do you ever try and consciously then match that cadence to what you're then going to run in the run leg, or is it just more a case of get the blood pumping through the legs?
Yeah, no, that was purely done by feel. That wasn't any sort of calculation in my head thinking I need to hold 90 because that replicates the run. No, not at all. It was just done to feel.
Yeah.
I would say that cramping was starting to become a slight factor on my right hand side, and I have watched the footage back, and there's definitely a twinge in that right shoulder, which would suggest something was tugging. So I think for me, it wasn't a race plan to ride at a higher cadence towards the latter stages. It was more of a feeling in the body, thinking something doesn't feel quite right. Let's try and flush that out.
Yeah. Well, it was like kick-ass cycle. It was very exciting to watch. It was, we enjoyed it.
It was awesome, yeah.
I think the women's race was better than the men's race, to be honest.
I think with the men, because they all came out of the water quite close together, and then they just sat. It just looked like they were literally going around in like a carousel at one point.
The men's, like the women's race, you saw people taking chances, and there was a lot more going on with it. The men kind of waited till the run, and then it all unfolded, didn't it? So,
but massive kudos to our British guys, Tom Davis, for taking the lead in the race. That was a very exciting time. And then George for coming through and getting on the podium. Absolutely. Like classy guys, brilliant performances.
And holding off Lionel Sanders as well, which was like, he's catching.
Just a quick question, because it was something that kind of coming away from the bike. It was something that Laura Siddall, I think it was Laura Siddall, it might have been Emma, mentioned to us. Was there any kind of a little bit of competition between the long course athletes and the ITU athletes, or was it very much kind of we're all in this together?
Because of the nature of where we're at, there wasn't much time for the social side. So I would say we all pretty much kept to ourselves, and there didn't really come that bond of all short versus long. I didn't feel that at all. I felt like I did feel one thing very strongly though, is that everyone was so nervous because nobody knew what the race would look like, how the swim would turn out, how the dynamic would be. Everyone commented on how nervous they were. And I mean, the night before, I woke up a couple of times hearing my heart beating out of my chest, thinking, oh, this isn't ideal. But yeah, like the nerves were real, because you try and visualize, but you just couldn't. The girls on the start line and the nature of the course and the dynamic of the distance, it made it a massive unknown for everyone.
Yeah, it's great to watch. It was much, I think it was much better than we'd expected to watch, wasn't it?
Because I suppose you don't really know what it's going to be like kind of without a crowd. I guess would have been there under normal circumstances, but
and it was nice because they treated it like a NASCAR, so the camera angles, like the way they panned it across the race and stuff, it was really cool. So cool. It was good. It was
really cool.
Wicked. Well, thanks for joining us and chatting about that. It was super interesting. We wanted to jump on a kind of Zoom call straight away and just like, was that planned? That just happened? So it's cool. No, but well done. I mean, it was amazing to kind of see it all unfold and watch you, like, finish off the year in style. So that's cool. So have a nice Christmas.
You too, guys.
And we'll speak to you in the new year.
Yes.
Nice one. Cheers, Kim.
See you later.
Thank you.
Bye, guys.